Hello, hello. All right, we'll give it a couple of minutes here. You guys, I'm seriously so excited for tonight's show. So, if you're live with us, let us know where you're watching us from. Say hello. We love to do shout outs. So let us know you're here. Tag a friend. Or more than one. Tag your cousins, tag your boyfriends, tag whoever you need to tag. We've got an amazing show for you guys tonight. We are going to be talking about something that our Hmong community has just been talking a lot about. And so we are super excited to have our guests here today to talk to us. So if you don't know and you have no idea what we're going to be talking about today, then you should know, right? So if you know, let us know. We've got Leslie. See, look at all of you guys tagging your friends. Thank you. Hi, Crystal. How are you? Pho Queen. Hello, cousin. We've got Tia from Milwaukee. Lala from Fresno. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome. We've got Pong Moa from Philadelphia. Ooh, late out there. Thank you for tuning in. Leslie, thank you for tagging your friend. Hi, Linda. How are you?
There's probably a lot of folks here that have read the book or are fans. So yes, please continue to tag your friends. Let them know that, because we really are we want to know your thoughts too as we ask her these questions, and we want you to be commenting and letting us know. We both have our own opinions and thoughts on everything in the book.
I know. Crystal says, I wanted to drop by and say hello at the new year, but was so swamped all week helping Moon. Excited to watch. That's okay, Crystal. We forgive you, girl. I still want to meet you in person one day, though. So hopefully one of these days soon we'll have to, grab lunch or something when I'm in Sakura when you're here. Let's see. We've got Bliana from Fresno. We've got Lucy from Fresno. Lots of you guys from Cali watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Laura Yang Vang says, I'm here to support Moon Vang. Yes, we want to support our sister. She's done a fabulous job on this book, and we are so excited to have her to just kind of chat about her book and all things dragon and Yushin and Wujin and all these names. I'm so excited.
I'm glad that you listened to it, though, because you know how to pronounce them, and I have my own ideas of the pronunciation, but I'm glad that
Nia Vapom says, hi there, I'm from Colorado. It's snowing tonight and I'm drinking hot cocoa and enjoying this show tonight. Thank you. Oh, I wish it would snow here too.
That sounds so pleasant.
No. Teresa's watching us on YouTube from Minnesota. Hello, Teresa.
Thank you. We stream directly to YouTube too. And so thank you so much for
absolutely. Yeah, and for those of you who have not followed us on YouTube yet, please go and do so. We would really appreciate it. Subscribe to our channel. We've got Stacy from North Carolina. Let's see here.
I saw your comment about my hair. I did not retone my hair. I actually need to go in like 2 weeks to get it retouched.
Yeah. Your roots are growing in, girl.
It sure is.
Yeah. Your hair grows so fast though,
Yeah.
All right, we've got Mo Chang says, hey ladies, hello. So we've got Spoiler Force podcast with us. Hello there.
I'm so curious, when you read the book, comment and let us know. Did you cry?
No.
I know that my emotion to the book was I'd follow Moon already prior to that because of her photography, but I know that when I first started hearing about the book, it was from the videos of just women crying. I mean, it was just like crying all over the place, and I'm just like, I need to read this book. People are just it's moving them, and so I think that really got me really interested.
Yes. Oh, Cynthia Chang says ugly cried. Okay, so I'm gonna just be
which part? I'm so curious which part.
No, don't spoil it for those of us who still got 4 chapters left of the book. Okay. Moon said that's when people get real emotional, and I'm gonna be like a lot of you, and I'm gonna record my emotion. I'm gonna post it on all that. I'm gonna tag Moon on there, okay? Because I'm just gonna say I don't want to spoil it for anyone else, but tao a ito ning siena kutupi kulushietupi mo na, right? So I can't like right now with you guys. Okay,
Linda said but maybe it's because I'm cold-hearted. So Linda, I dramatically cried one tear. It was like one teardrop. Like it was like a big teardrop though, because I was just like, oh my gosh, like it hit me after the fact. But
yeah. Yes.
Rosie
Okay.
says you got to listen to the audio. It's different.
Yes.
The audio. I get the original copy because I'm sorry, I'm not about to go there. I heard some stuff about it, and I mean, even reading the book, I heard that things were happening to people, and I got real scared. I was like people mature and stuff, right? And I've been chua before, right? So I was like, okay, for the sake of the show, I will read this book, and if I mature one time, it'll be okay. Just go away afterwards. But nothing did happen. So yeah.
Oh, you're so dramatic. But I do agree. I'm on the audio and I'm loving it so far. Moon did such a great job, like with just her voice, and telling the story. And I think she does a very good job, right? Because I was telling Callie earlier that during the weekend, my husband and I had a weekend getaway, and we were listening to the audio on the way there and back. And on the way there, I was listening to it, and then on the way back, there was a moment in time where we had no service, and so I had to read. I hate reading, and I had to read the PDF file, and I did not put as much emotion into it like Moon did, and my husband was just so sad. Still caught. I wasn't doing a really good job.
That's funny. I had to yell at my man. You don't know what love is. That's hilarious. David says, yes, you must listen to the audio. Girl, I live alone half the time. I'm not about I feel very safe in my house right now. I don't want
to. I think that Moon wants us to read the book, and maybe not to mushit want you to spouse, but you decide you mushit luna, right? You mushit lu, you to you shen you to region, whatever you want to do, whichever one you decide, not to fight them. Okay.
Okay. All right. So we shall get started, but just as we were saying, we are also streaming directly onto YouTube. So if you are not following us over at YouTube, we would love it if you come and follow us over there as well. We are still reading lovegrams. We are no longer accepting lovegrams, but we appreciate all the ones have been sent, including some of the, anonymous, fighting ones and ones that are getting comments. So thank you for that. And then, of course, the Love Vault is always open. And so if you have not applied yet, please do. That is on a rolling basis, and we will be having episodes of those coming up. Other than that, anything else to add? All right, so we are, of course, if you notice, we are both also wearing green in honor of the book. On the book, it's the dragon is green and absolutely beautiful. And so we both specifically chose the green. So and of course, we are going to have Moon join us. We won't just blabber on forever, although, we love reading the comments about everyone. Just so please continue to share all as we're just talking. We just really want to hear your thoughts as well. And we'll try to pick some of those and bring them over onto the screen so we can all have a conversation about this. But if you don't know, Moon is the author of Memoirs of a Haunted Hmong Girl, and has just completely again blown away like the Hmong community with all the crying. And I do have to do a shout out to I think his name is Calvin Mua. That has been one of the men that I've enjoyed watching videos. He'll make like videos about the book, and it's just been so fun to watch. But just love all of the support that Moon is getting, and the exposure that she continues to get for the book. And so all right, let's bring her on.
Hello. Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hi, hello
Good.
everyone. Thanks for joining us.
It's so weird to hear your voice talking to you instead of like having my phone on and you shooting my earpiece.
I
I'm
can talk in the narrative voice if you want me to.
I'm expecting a loud bang or a cry or something in a second here.
Lots and lots of hellos from your fans, of course,
Yes.
out there.
Hello.
And Starlight, I believe, is a name that you call all your supporters and subscribers. So I'm seeing
Yes.
some references there. Lots and lots of fans. All right, shall we get started?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. Do you want to ask the first question?
Yep. So, I mean, we're gonna just get to know you a little bit before we dive into the book, Moon. So, what did you want to be when you were a little girl? Did you ever imagine yourself being a writer?
Well, actually, okay. At one point in my life, I wanted to be an astronaut because I thought it was pretty cool to like go into space. But actually, I think like ever since you reach a age, self-awareness. Now, I've actually always wanted to be an artist, and that was like something that has never wavered for me. Like art is just something that really intrigues me, whether it's like in regards to drawing or writing or like even like watching movies and making like short films and stuff like that. So I've always wanted to be an artist. Yeah.
Nice.
And so then what did you go to school for?
I actually went to school for art. I went to a private school, but as you guys know, private schools are very expensive. So
Mhm.
I actually went back to like a city college to finish off my general educations because I thought that was like a better way to save money. Okay, so
Mhm.
and let me know if I'm talking too fast because I tend to do that. But yeah, no, but I actually stopped after I received my associates and decided to pursue art on my own because gumo for arts na yun. And I just want to clarify that I have nothing against the education system, but I just think that I just had a lot of self-awareness and understanding what I wanted to do with my life. And I didn't feel that the school system can support that. So that's why I decided to leave and pursue art on my own. So yeah, I only went to school for it was for my art degree, but I only took 4 years. Yeah.
That's awesome. Like just knowing that enough because I think we all grow up, especially as like
Mhm.
Hmong like first generation immigrants of like our parents instilling us that educate, formal education is the only way to go. So
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and sometimes most people like Lamukandela, they when they come out, they don't really go into the field. They go to school for anyway, right? Because I feel like in our circle of life, it's like continued learning, regardless of whether that's through like your regular school system or
Mhm.
through your experience. You're always learning. And so it it's not just one way of learning. There's many ways. So good for you for making that decision.
Thank you.
What did you do prior to writing your book? Are you full time just like onto that now, or what other things were you working on before that?
Like prior to my book, I would like to say actually I just worked regular 9 to 5 jobs. My first job was actually McDonald's. I worked at retail stores, warehouse jobs, and it was actually until go pregnant that I went on my maternity leave that it really pushed me to pursue art. I said, "Go on business, go open my own business."
Yeah.
It was a solid decision and it's one I don't regret. And yeah, I've been running my own business for almost 5 years now. So yeah.
Awesome.
okay, all right. We are gonna that's apparently 3 questions is enough. We're now gonna move over to the book, okay? So your book, on
Hmm.
the cover, you say that the book is based on a true story. So is this your story? Is it someone you know? Like because the name is also Mani, So I was like, Mani, and then some of the pictures kind of look like you. So I was like,
Hmm.
I don't know enough about your background, but what is this based like? Whose true story is this based on?
The story is based on my life. It's still something really like weird for me to say like to the it's about my life because when I actually wrote this book, I didn't have like any intentions to like but like it's just it just felt like it was like the time was right because actually, if you guys have read the books, I believe that almost everyone here has read the book, but it's a lot of struggle because as you guys know, this is a very taboo topic, especially in the Hmong community.
Yeah.
So I think that for a long time, because this happened to me about 10 years ago. So when it happened, there was a lot of silence, like a lot of people silence. And this comes from um, so it was like a lot of struggle, internal struggles of living 10 years in silence and abiding by, the rules and the restrictions and the beliefs and fears of our community. So when I first wrote this book, my intention was actually, it was like therapy, chokuna, so when I wrote it, I didn't want to necessarily have that yokuna only because I felt like I lived so long in that stigma and that fear that, people are not going to agree with what I'm doing. But, actually writing it and seeing people's response to it and being able to just talk about it, back up their own story. And it made me realize that there's a lot of lonely people like me, like Money out there. And it just became a really safe platform for me to finally confess that it's about me. So yes, the book is definitely about my life, and it was inspired by events that happened about 10 years ago.
I definitely see like this when you talk about like the stigma, right? Because I think in the book, in the beginning, you did kind of mention like, like now people aren't gonna like quote unquote like want you because of that experience. And I think that there's so much of that in our community. Like it's so easy to get into a place where there's something that, like, oh, now you're no good because of this or that or the other. And so I appreciate you being brave and sharing that and bringing that to light versus just keeping it in the dark.
So question, now that you said that it's about you, now I have all my questions shifted. I made some mental notes of questions, and then now it's kind of like, okay, those questions are no longer valid. So how did you come up with all of these names? Are they names that are true to like the Wuchen and that's all I know them by, okay? So how did you come up with the name? Like what was the naming process for that? Or are they actually like real names of people that, are impacted by this experience as well?
Well, specifically, the name Money is I was once a Money, but yeah, that you like especially when something like this happens, yeah, a way to or how you or the dragon spirit, yeah, or any other kind of hauntings, yeah, so I've actually had a name change about so the name everybody knows now is the final name. I was like done because I'm so tired of getting used to new names. But yeah, I was once a Money, so I decided to choose that name because I think I was Money for the shortest time span. So I felt that it wouldn't necessarily expose but that I'm still holding a part of it true to myself. So yeah, so the name Money was chosen because it was the shortest name that I kept before it was switched again. And for Yushin, Wujin, Mai, as you guys know now, my name is actually Mai. So my because
is Mai now?
Oh yeah. Yeah, a little bit more in my house. So I'm actually Mai right now. But I think everybody mainly bulk was Moon.
Yeah.
But lúc về Yushin, lúc về Wujin, it was chỉ có cả lúc về thầu u ấy hô hô bỏ ha,แต่chỉ có bộ lúc về chỉ chỉnh ha này cause nhớ được sang tôi tại bộ mô bộ lúc về bộ hô nàyแต่chỉ I wanted to just give them names that are as derived or similar to names that go itzu hô này so it was just inspired by names but chỉ tao tại do cả là ta hỏi bộ lúc về ta cause you cũng hay tao tại bộ lúc về ta hiểu chẳng hạn
yeah well that answers my question.
So speaking of names, like so like on page 94 you say like, well, in my culture,
we're always referencing pages, you guys.
Yeah, we're referencing pages. So on page 94 you say, well, in my culture, as Mani is explaining a part of her culture to Yushin, right? And so is Yushin not Hmong? Is it because she's in my culture because as a human, or like, is that what she means, or is it because Yushin is not supposed to be like Hmong but like another nationality?
That's a question I get a lot. I think that's get your shots and your mom, because like yeah, but my tune to mom like the halus moon, but not.
Girl, you are fulfilling every woman's dream. That's why I did
But in her reality, na,เขาก็หาเต้าเต้เต้า her question not to make the most sense is that 你去和梦，你去和说，你去和泰，你去和美格勒，去和blue，去和美 dragon. Super spoiler. I'm so sorry to crack everybody to Game Boy Show, but 你有认识 so
no, but so 你要一度下，但是头你切了，我一度拧呐，你要一度拧懵了。你要一度拧do maybe God in his human form, right? Because even in your drawings, it resembles an Asian person. They may not be Hmong, but it's an Asian person.
Okay. But isn't it true that they can turn into the most beautiful thing that they want to, right? So they could literally be however you imagine them to be, which is a scary thing, right?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. I think the when the belief is that then they come in the form that is most attractive to you. So, like he will look different to each one of us, So, I guess no matter.
Well, there you go, you guys. I guess we can all have our own imagination of what Yushin and Woojin looks like, but dang, just in the drawing, I'm gonna say pay Hmong because that's what I like. So
they have to learn more. Yeah. So
wait, my husband has a cow, okay, and he's Hmong.
Who?
Husband,
I know, but
are you talking about the dragon or are you talking about my husband? There's a difference.
No, I know. No, I'm talking about the dragon. I feel like he's like very pronounced, but
yeah. Well, I think money and moon did a really good job describing his facial features and stuff. And so anyway, okay, but for everyone else, it could be your opas. Right? All right. So what was your process writing the book and how long did it take you to write this book? Right. Because you're writing it based on your experience 10 years ago. So when did you start writing after that experience and how long did it take you to finish the book?
It was quite a struggle because it happened 10 years ago and after it happened more short but it was a lot of struggles because I was going through dealing with how other people felt about it because everybody that experiences with you, they have their own story and their feelings are validated to themselves and what they experience. So it was a lot of fears of what happens because có tới mình chỉ suy cái only ha you ít khó cái you bùi khó hoặc cho nhau sinh ra nó cái bố của bố khó so and everybody's story is true but it's just a matter of lịch từ hạ tao có từ nàyแต่是 you happen to you này cái như nào như gì như chuyện này mà cái bố lúc như bố chỉ sáng có mà tới mình chỉ suy được như này cái cho nó bố bao cái it's best not to talk about it because they believe that the haunting can repeat itself, So, for a long time, I think that's why I mainly took it onto like a writing format because you shot a way that I can still express my feelings without instilling the fear into like my other families because we can shot that it was something that hurts them. It's a trauma for them as well. So I actually started writing this about almost immediately after the event happened. So you should show Only high, you only you try you the king you much so you shut the shop. So it was a whole 10-year process of, do it, not do it, do it, not do it. But this year I turned 30 and I'm like, if not now, when? Because I think eventually with age I'm going to forget it as well, Um, and it was just basically, turning 30 and you rediscover your like this undying flame.
Mhm.
You rediscover that as an adult and you mature with that, and just being solid with who you are, having a lot of self-awareness. Okay. That's why I decided to just go ahead and do it. And it came with a lot of support from, because I opened a test reader group that just a very small group of people read it, because I feel like I was just testing the waters to see how people are going to react to it. But seeing their reaction, hearing their stories, and seeing that this is something that a lot of us, I feel like this is something that's very common to happen in Hmong community, but we all mainly just kind of sweep it, under the rug, for whatever reason. Most of the time it is the but at the same time, when we do something like that, we don't talk about the emotional trauma that the people like me goes through, So after, testing with my test readers and seeing their reaction about it, learning that a lot of them went through very similar things, it made me realize that it just gave me the courage to know and to understand that when I release this book, there's definitely going to be a backlash, but I'm willing to take on that backlash to also give other people the courage to open up and to like everybody get much to Dragon Prince, but on an emotional level, I felt that support, being able to have that support system for others, is worth it. So that's why I decided to just publish it now. And yeah, here we are.
Did anything happen to you while you were, in the past, like 2 years, maybe in the times that you were more intensely writing it?
I think I tago po mahena ko yan.
Essentially, yes.
I mean, definitely, but I feel like sometimes you the king because I feel like like I feel that most of the time it's just you hate you the king and your fears hold you back. Yeah, so yeah. You biết thà xưa ta bụt lan chít lan cái cái khẩu hai Olivia bên nhau mỏ touch
Right? But Gucci Gucci you got a whole audio yet.
I know. I definitely do want to talk about just like how, like, me and Olivia, how we both kind of came to. So I went with the digital copy because well, even before I did the digital copy, right? Like, I had friends that were telling me that things were happening to them, and that scared me to even read the book, right? Like Lemacho and stuff, while they're reading the book. And so I was like, Mike, I thought this was a love story, and so it kind of got me a little bit scared. I mean, I know it was like the Haunted Hmong Girl, but that really made me think like, okay, I probably don't want to listen to the audio, because what I heard about the audio was some of the sound effects, and I was like, oh hell no, need no sound effects up in here. And so that's why I went with the digital copy. And then Olivia, maybe you can talk a little bit about the audio.
Yeah, I mean, I love the audio. I think you did a wonderful job reading it and giving each character like their own personality, so I don't have to imagine what they would be like. I think you did a wonderful job, but I went with the audio mainly just because I was driving, and reading it makes me motion sickness, and so I'm not done yet. I still have 4 chapters to go. I told my husband I was gonna finish listening to it today before we came on, but he was like, you better not. You better get home. So I, of course, because I didn't want to finish this story without him. So I waited, and so we're gonna finish it tonight. But I went with the audio, and I think you did a wonderful job. I tried to emulate your voice in my head when I read the 2 chapters when I was driving through no service, and I did not do you justice, girl. I just couldn't do it. So I was like, I'm not going to freaking read this because I can't pretend to be Yushin. So I heard your voice in my head, but I couldn't say it the way you said it, so I just said forget it.
Who was like your favorite character in the book?
Oh my God, that's a hard one. That's like the hardest question to ever ask an author. I'm going to be fair to all my characters and say that every character is my favorite, because I feel like every character serves a purpose. They all have their own story to be told and reasons why they do what they do. And in each of their stories, there are lessons that can be learned as readers, or as the audience. And I feel like people, we're all each so unique that we relate to each of these characters differently. So like while all my characters are not perfect, they all teach us something, and we shouldn't undervalue any of them just because what you have the main character by picking favorites. So I'm gonna have to say that they're all my favorite characters in their own ways.
Yeah, I definitely feel like, of course, the main character is such an easy pick. And I think that I actually grew to like really like my character. And I really want to hear what everybody thinks, who your favorite character is. Please do share in the comments. But I think for me at first was very freaky, like was scary. And then just like as you dive into her, and I really appreciate you taking the time to even talk about her and her role, and like, as she started to emulate, Mani, and try to gain some of that love from Yushin. Just like her, how much love she had and how pure that love was, right? Because she was not human, that she learned to have this very pure love. And just her own sacrifice at the end was very dramatic, but very, very like, anytime anybody dies for love, right? We have to like give it to them. So
Yeah. I think like even I agree with you. I feel like they all kind of have their own special place in my heart, right? Like with Mai at the beginning, like when we were in the car, my husband's like, Mai, I was like, no. Like we all had our own assumptions of like who they are as you were building up this story, but then when it gets to the part where, I had a thing for her. My heart hurt, because I do feel like what you said, Kelly, like when you die for love, it's just so like much.
And like she didn't even choose that life, right? That life chose her. Like her into what is it? What's the moment? Is it how a word? Word? Okay, for some reason I thought that was the word, but like, like she didn't even choose to be that, right? And so she was put into that, and dang, Yushin, realized that she wasn't a real thing, I mean, he was a prince, so how would he not know, right? But I think the point is that she was boxed away, but that at the end he does say, like, you did keep me alive all these years and gave me hope, and even though you were her, you looked like her, and he felt loved, and that was almost like a little mini love story that was just really.
Kelly.
Oh, what the?
Sounded like you were gonna cry.
I know. I cried. Okay, I didn't cry like some of y'all ladies out there, which but I had like one. Like seriously, it was like one teardrop. Like it was dramatic, and I didn't even know it was coming until it was down on my lip. It didn't taste salty as fuck.
So I'm interested to know, Moon, will there be a sequel? Will you be writing more of the story, or is that already in the works, or is that something you can't share?
This answer but because I would definitely keep writing, but a sequel to Memoirs because pre-order in this lifetime for the next lifetime. Okay.
Maybe for those of us who are so curious, maybe we can just write it ourselves in our head. But I think that's when you know that it's so good, when something ends and you're like, I want more. Like I want to know what happened. I want to know. But honestly, kapag di yung movie the second part is usually not as good because
True.
it's not because in your head you're already thinking, oh, it went this way or it went that way, and then what if it didn't turn out the way you wanted? Then you have your own, idea of whether this was chaotic and a hot mess or oh my gosh, this is so good. So
But I'm not gonna say anything to give it away, but I do feel like the way that you ended the book gives us like a view of what
closure.
happened, and so I think that was really nice. Where it wasn't like where you're like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do with my life now?
Someone did ask a really good question because I am so
Mhm.
curious myself. Maybe you can help answer this question, but I think let me try to find it. Oh, from Nia Tavu. Will there be a movie coming out for your Moon Book Memoirs of the Hmong Girl? Will there be a movie?
That's okay, question. But realistically, it's something that would be super awesome to see Memoirs be adapted into a movie, and especially if it was done by like a Hmong production. And,
Yeah.
yeah, but reality is, you guys, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, it's a lot of teamwork, a lot of time, and it's not something like you go as the author. I realistically, it's not something I'm gonna rush to do just because it's like the big deal right now, especially because Memoirs is something so personal to me and so sentimental to me that it's something that like whether if that's the right time to do it, then that's the time that it will come out. So it would be great. It's very ideal to do it, but like realistically, budget wise, team wise, so it was very hard. It's not. I wish it was as easy as, oh man, I want to make a movie and then think okay, deals na yun.
Yeah.
But yeah, hashtag Netflix.
Yes. And honestly, if you need help, I'm more than happy to be your coffee girl. I will go and run coffee for you just so then we can get moving on so we can all mark again.
Yes. I want to pull another question, and if you guys can comment, my next question to the audience is like, which part did you cry? Like where if you posted a video and you ugly as fuck cry, which is okay, it's all right. It's fair to cry. I'm curious what part you cried at. Just to make sure that maybe I need to go back and reread those parts and see if maybe it stirs something up so that I can cry too. Because now Olivia said she's going to make a video. I think I want to make a video of me crying too. I do want to ask this. So Scott asks, I am dying to know if Moon is fulfilling her role of being a shaman as of current, or if she is no longer taking on that role.
Yes, I am. I am, but as of right now, with like Ola Kali, when you touch base on with everything that's happening, whether you want to invite spiritual things to happen or not, especially with the book being out on this scale and with how it's like everybody's talking about it now. So to be really transparent with everyone, my shaman journey is something I'm keeping on a very down low right now. But am I still fulfilling my role? Yes, I am.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are spoiling stuff for me right now, Callie.
Sorry, I just want to know. I'm just really curious because I feel like different things like might touch people differently, And so yes, if you comment, don't give too much away, but maybe you can just tell us what chapter, what page specifically, so I can know. All right.
Oh my gosh, Moon! I also wanted to tell you that the music choice. Oh Lord, woman, like they are so perfect. I mean, all around just an awesome job. I just can't keep, praising you and the awesome job.
Thank you.
Anyway, that I think sometimes that helps you with your tears too, Okay, so have you I mean you've talked about your book being available on Amazon. Have you determined when that will be? Is that coming up soon for those who have not purchased your book yet?
I think I said something along the lines of it would be awesome if it was on Amazon, but as of right now, it's probably not gonna happen anytime soon. Only because right now I'm choosing a platform that would work best for me as a self-publisher and a author now with like no big publishing company to back me up. Probably not anytime soon. Amazon is a very powerful tool and it's easily accessible, and I think that would definitely take memoirs to new heights. But as of right now, like, as a self-publisher, I would rather have like full creative control over my work, especially with something as personal as memoirs is to me. So
Yeah.
right now.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right. So
The
go ahead.
you gonna pull another question?
No, go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna go to the audience questions. So we got, well, all of these actually, I say audience questions, but when we posted this, we had a somebody named Jen Boo. So hopefully you are joining us. If you are, please say hi because you had some really great questions. And so her first question was, what kind of shift, change, or impact do you think Memoirs has brought to the Hmong community, or rather the world?
Mm, like this is one of those questions where to me it's hard to say how it impact others because that I embrace and other people's uniqueness now. And I feel that even if it's like if it's so everybody that looks at it from different angles, okay, so for how it will impact people, so because I don't want to speak on others' behalf now of how it impacted them, because as we know now, some people loves memoir, some people absolutely despise it, some people disagrees with it. It's one of those things where it comes from different all different kind of angles, and everyone's opinions is validated to themselves now. So just for me, speaking for myself, that memoirs would, if anything, I hope that it would reach the people that has gone through similar things like me, and in which they can feel that it's a safe space for them to speak on an emotional level now. Okay, like even if they don't dive into the whole spiritual aspect of telling people about their story, no thought that this is not a journey that they're walking alone. Okay, so that would be good to get a shot that it would reach people like this, and for them to know that it's a safe space for them to talk, and they can talk to me, so that is my hope for memoirs. Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
Just I can listen to you talk about your story all day, girl. Now that
Thank you.
it makes me so curious about everything, right? Like I said earlier, I had like all these questions and then they shifted because it was really more about like, how did you come across this story? What made you pick this if you heard others, but now that it's yours, then don't need question the what you can get that. So obviously with once your book came out and there was just a whole bunch of like you said, there were positives, there were negatives, there were neutrals, but there were some controversy, and I think we would like to kind of hear your side of the stories. That there has been accusations that your book is based on certain Chinese dramas, as well as the pictures of the characters in the book. So can you address that? Obviously, this is something that's very personal to you, and people who don't know now know. So what do you've got to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm a very transparent person. So, yeah, I mean, there has been a lot of controversy. I've seen most of it. I've addressed most of them, but I feel like a problem that people just likes to recycle, and they just like to constantly talk about it because then it makes them feel relevant to what's still happening right now, which is the actual success of memoirs now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not something that I want to address again to humor the people who started it, because it's their opinion and it's fine with me. We all don't process, going back to how everybody just embrace their uniqueness and their own ways now. So we all don't process things the same way, and that's why there's different kinds of people in the world. And that's fine. And I feel like that falls into everything that we do as students. Even if you come with the best intentions, people can still twist it to make it something negative now. And everyone's opinions is validated to themselves, but like if I'm being honest, people who starts things like this, like starts controversy or drama, they're not actually really looking for a genuine answer from me. They're just seeking attention with my platform. And I don't think that, if I'm being really honest, I don't think that they deserve the time to be addressed on such a positive platform such as yours and mine. But with that being said, I would like this time to actually turn call controversy to a more positive outlook.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be real honest. I'm actually really like, I think people sako gucci. That's why they constantly like recycle this issue over and over again until in a way that. But the truth is, I'm actually really glad that people recognize the similarities between memoirs and other dramas, movies, and other stories, whether it's like Chinese, Thai, Hmong, or like even back to Hmong stories, because this proves that events in memoirs is not exclusive to any single person or any single race. It's a universal phenomenon, and yet in our culture, we have suppressed it with fear and judgment, and which is fine because it actually stems from love and caring for this person with good intentions. That but bringing it back to that, but on a psychological and emotional level, these are traumas. These are real traumas that people like me goes through. So by allowing I guess what I'm trying to say is allow people to express themselves. And I think that if we did that more within our community with less judgment, then maybe it would be more known and more accepted, so that the next time someone opens up about it, it would be less compared to Chinese dramas, because that's something we're all used to seeing. And that's something so normalized. And like the Chinese media, the Thai media, and all other medias, all other platforms, they have romanticized into like dramas. So it's normal for us to see them go through something like that. But when a Hmong person talks about it, then all of a sudden it's just a Chinese drama. She plagiarized it from a Chinese drama, when in fact it's still something that's happening within our community. It's still a trauma we have to deal with. You don't have to deal with it on a spiritual level. We all have to understand that we still have to deal with it on an emotional level. So when something like Memoirs is coming out, it's the first of its kind. So it's not something that's normal for people to see. So people instantly try to compare it to something that they will understand. And you run on a single street, Chinese drama, Chinese drama. That's exactly where they're going to compare it to and say it's plagiarized or it's a copy of, versus actually seeing it as that this is something, it's a conversation we should talk about emotional traumas that people go through, in our community. So it would be, I think it's a good thing that they saw that similarity, and so that I can open up about this conversation and to say that, allow people to express themselves. And when that happens, it would be less compared to others, and it will be soon enough, one day, it would not be something that they're going to say it's accused of me plagiarizing Chinese dramas. We can actually finally talk about it as a normal topic about traumas that happens within our own community. So we're so suppressed that once we talk about it, it's easier to judge it rather than to accept it as something normal. So I'm really happy that they actually brought that up. So
I love your answer. I love your answer. I think it's so mature and professional, and it doesn't devalue.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
We did
it. We got
on life.
But I love your answer. I think that you said so much truth to that, because you're right. I think like why do we watch Chinese dramas, right? Because we love the story it tells. And I think that, we do have to think more positively. And I think when people say things like that, it just kind of makes, I don't know, because this story is so personal to you, right? So I don't even want to imagine like what you would go through, but I love just how positive you are, and just your answer overall. I agree with it 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think anytime anybody reacts a certain way, I think the question really is, why, like for that person to really evaluate and figure out, why am I reacting that way, right? Like why am I feeling that way? And it's probably other traumas that they themselves have gone through, you talked about. So there is something else that was circulating that I just read, like this past week about I think there was an ask for people not to be looking for I guess after women started reading, they were also dreaming of their own version of Yushin. And what are your thoughts on that? And what, like, do you find that kind of funny, or like does that kind of scare you of women that? And if you legit have dream of your own Yushin, please comment. If you have had any experience after reading the book, please comment. But what's your view on that?
When it comes to like this view, and yeah, I have to come from Olahai to Nani's perspective. Yeah, go had everybody now, okay? No, don't think you could call
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I think okay, this would go would you talk about like okay, because like when this book came out, that agrees, they understand where I'm coming from. I thought, you shouldn't do something like that because people would you double more romanticized but the only thing that I can say from my end, like chỉ hà có sao có biết là mất sáng rồi cái chỉ hà từ sáng trước bị tao lên từ bé ôn hà ôn nên xong rồi một giờ rồi một giờ phải thân thọ cái chỉ giờ hata they are one kind cái chỉ hata bây giờ ra thân thọ bây giờ phải thân thọ cái so yes indeed một giờ rồi một giờ phải bao họ là hết họ có sao cũng mấy giờ sáng rồi bây giờ bây giờ chỉ nên nhớ sáng rồi nữa này cái một giờ rồi một giờ phải and it's really easy to get swayed by somebody else's stories, like especially you movie là hình như phong tài này you bộ họ rất rộng sự you chỉ tự chỉ bộ tại tôi nói họ suffer body in reality này so that's why I ultimately ended up having to do like a forward and a warning to people and tell me your memoirs Dragon Prince, it is it is that to whether this story applies to a dragon it's lessons that can be universal to as to treat one another, to cherish the moments that you have with and though you you should have money small, go out there and go live a beautiful life filled with beautiful memories, okay, so it's despite it being a very fantastical story, very out of the world, it's okay, you apply back to yeah, so that's what I would say to everybody.
Love it. So hold on to your spirit. Don't romanticize, because they will look right. They will look as attractive as the way you imagine them to be. So just chill. It's probably too good to be true, Can we address this question? So, Moon, I really want to know how your husband has reacted to all this support towards you and Yushin. Is he the slightest bit jealous or understanding and supportive of your past love story?
Or is it?
Yeah.
Is number one question. Every interview going to question she all go ha on cho yo ko cho ha se to ni chin chin go to ha go to husband no jo no ju me ta ba she has a time you guys you go to husband she support go charged up on that, okay. That my husband is my number one supporter, and he does about that supports me. Like honestly, I struggle very much with writing this book, but good husband you have to push go finish my book now. And the best way that I can put it is that go have the husband. Ooh, we know where we are. I think we're at a y'all get on dates out to understand each other in a mature enough level. We know exactly where our hearts are. We know that in looking to like and okay. And I think the best part about all of this is that my husband understands that what I have with Yushin now is grief. 지하다고 룰루 유시에 고란주부터스면요 아무래도 유시다 뭐로 이게 고줄인줄은 뭐나요 like to be very transparent it is understanding that it is grief it is trauma and he understands it from an emotional level 하다 it's something that you know you so yeah, it's okay, more. It's okay, trauma. That if I'm able to deal with it, and if I could deal with it, I can become a better person, not just to him, but to my family and to everyone around me. I can become the best version of myself if I just deal with my trauma, you know, with my like the psychological part of it, the emotional part of it, and it's him understanding that process. That with the trauma, like but it will always keep you from becoming the best part of yourself. Yeah, or you know, có husband han, yung yan lúc bao you had that new. In you could let us say you talk then why not do it? You know, and why let his own jealousy and his, you know, like his like you all about ya that you kick okay it's okay kick no he doesn't want to be the person to prevent me from becoming the best part of me. So I think that's something that we all jihad yo ko okay, you guys need to understand this is something that can definitely happen. But it's name okay. So but you know she saw that so happen okay so you know and it's very easy to be very like convinced that oh because okay but it's like that just seems to be the easier route to understand but we're truly talking about trauma and about or and they can become the best version of themselves. Why would you be another obstacle for this person to go through when they already have to go through so much to get over trauma and to deal with it? So yeah.
Love it. And thank you everyone for just like I know that there's a lot of start lights in here, but I know that some of the questions that we ask are also for our, you know, audience that may not be starlights. And so we are not trying to step over the bounds starlights. We are and so but we know that a lot of the questions we ask are you know questions that are not brand new to what Moon has addressed on her page and her lives. And so thank you for just allowing us to, you know, re-ask some of those questions.
Yeah. So I think for here, I mean, we're up on the hour already. I feel like that just went by so fast. Oh, I think I do after like audio interview girl. I'm gonna become a starlight so we can have club meetings. We can talk about these dark characters that have been playing with my emotions for the last 3 days. I have been angry. I have been scared out of my body. I have been happy and sad and just all types of stuff. But we are coming up on the hour already, and you know, it's been so amazing to have you on to just chat with us and answering some of our questions. So we'll ask you the last 2 questions and we'll call it a night. But what projects do you have in the works? Is there anything special that you can share with us? We can, you know, expect more from Moon.
Become a starlight to know. No, I'm just kidding. But definitely a lot more works coming. You know, I feel like as an artist or you're passionate about that. You know, our brains never go to sleep. Like I like to joke that I work 25/8 instead of 24/7 because I'm constantly like so there's definitely a lot more works coming up, and I hope that you know the support that I got for Memoirs will continue on to the next project but
there's more. I think, you know, there's more coming. And so for those of you who are not starlights yet, I would highly encourage you to go and be one, like I will be as soon as I'm done listening to the audio tonight. So because I need people to talk with me about this. No. It's like when you watch those tiny Stroma 8, you have no one to talk to. But I feel like I have lots of other brothers and sisters who are feeling the same way. I mean, I can always do it with my husband too, but I mean, he thought I was a bonzong, so how could So
all right. And then other than your page, Moon Vang, is there any other way that people can connect? And other than joining Starlights?
I was about to join Starlights now. But no, right now Facebook is my main platform. I feel like it's the easiest way with me to connect with people now. Like even just on a public platforms, I miss you join Starlight, so it's completely okay. I just one of my thing is I love being transparent with I don't necessarily like calling people fans, so I prefer to call them like readers. But just one thing is I love being transparent. And I feel that it's nice when there's strength and vulnerability, and when we can all share that. It's definitely a lot more intimate in Starlights. So, if you do want like much more intimate conversations with me, do join me in my subscription. But if not on a log, even just on a public platform, Facebook would be the best way to connect with me. Yeah.
Right. And then as far as what's available, so you don't have the hard copy anymore. So is it just the audio and the digital copy that's available now? Or do you have plans on the hard copy, soft copy?
There is a very special edition that's going to be coming out for pre-orders very soon. The launch for pre-orders is coming up very soon. This will be the last, as of right now, this will be the last time that Memoirs goes into a physical print for a book. So we want to make it a really special book. Artworks, story. So do look out for that. It is called the Special Soft Edition, but it is very limited in prints because, as a self-publisher, so everything at the little pockets, so it will be launching very soon. So do follow me on my public page, in which we will make an announcement about that. Yeah.
Awesome. And then any last words to say to everyone in the audience, or are you good?
I'm good. If anything, thank you so much to everybody. That because when I first launched Memoirs, successful. Okay, so as of right now, currently we are hitting almost at 15,000 copies overall total sold for Memoirs. So like especially like the me 10 years ago when this first happened. So that Memoirs will gain this amount of audience. And maybe it's true, maybe it's not the best story, but it is a relatable story. And I feel that that's what truly made Memoirs successful, is that this is something that we needed in this generation right now to fix a lot of trauma that we have caused as a community through fear. So I feel like the success speaks for itself, and I'm really grateful for everybody, and I hope to have everybody's support continuously from here. But go on, okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. And, especially like you said, like being able to read and knowing what that blue darn tarp is and what the silver duct tape was for, like all those references, right, are things that like grew up and just like takes me back to like my parents' house. And I think that that's the beauty of just like us supporting like Hmong authors, is that when you write, like we get what you're saying, because like when we read other people's books, it's hard to get some of those cultural references or some of those like growing up and things like that. And so thank you so much for being on with us and just being willing to share your story and answer questions that you probably have answered a gazillion times before. And just being and teaching us. I think Liv and I just learned so much from you tonight. And for even putting your book out into the world. The fact is that, like you said, it's taken 10 years and definitely a lot of hard work for you to put that out into the world. And I think so many people have appreciated that, and you have really definitely done something big in the Hmong community. And so thank you so much, and thank you to everyone that joined us tonight. Of course, you can support Moon at her page, Moon Vang, on Facebook, and become a Starlight. I believe it's $4.99, and you can cancel anytime. $4.99, less than a cup of a coffee.
Charlie's been stalking me.
I sure have, girl.
That's because we can't get enough of Memoirs, okay?
Yes.
I want the freaking movie, damn it, Moon.
Go buy the book, everyone. So that we
Yes. Go buy the book. Go subscribe. Buy the audio. Whatever you gotta do. Watch the damn movie. I'll run the damn coffee for you if I have to. I'll fly to wherever you are. We'll make it happen.
Oh yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, for being on with us tonight. Of course, next week we're gonna have an episode, so we hope that you join us there as well and hear all that talk. We believe that conversations drive change, and change starts with you. Have a good night. Bye.